What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today, this is like a little bit of a showcase slash a discussion video about the Legend Franky that came out recently. Now, Legend Franky, I think, like, a lot of people just saw this character and think, yeah, he's pretty much just going to be one of those units that, yeah, if you pull him, that's awesome. There aren't going to be too many situations where you want to go out of your way to use him. However, he does have that ability to resist blow away in his captain effect, which is very cool. But this is also part of the discussion I wanted to have with him, because it goes beyond what Franky does as a character. It's just the overall overarching character tag system that Treasure Cruise has input since the 11th anniversary. And while I think a lot of people agree to the fact that they wanted this type of system in the game, the way that they've implemented this system makes team building that much more difficult. And considering they want to try and get as many new players into the game as possible, introducing this system in the way that they have implemented it makes it so much harder for new players to fulfill the conditions for the character abilities, and it's honestly kind of crazy, right? So let's just go through the Franky captain ability and discuss what's going on. So his captain ability, he gives cooldown, which is great, and switch effect cooldown. You love to see that. And then he boosts Powerhouse and Free Spirit. He gives them a very significant HP boost as well. Quick Bomb and Super Bomb are matching. For some reason, he doesn't reduce the damage from Bomb and Super Bomb completely. It's only by 95%. I kind of get in a way, because with Franky's super type, or his super class, whatever it may be, he does need to be at 25% HP or below for him to get all of his abilities to trigger, or you have 5 of, you know, Vegapunk and Straw Hats, which is extremely difficult to do. Like, 5 characters for the condition is really harsh. And also, considering his captain ability has tag functions implemented as well, like, that's not going to be very accessible. So in most cases, to get his superclass to work properly, you need to have below 25% HP. So we do that via this Kuzan that we have on our team here. So then it moves on in his captain ability, where you have either 4 or more Straw Hats, Low Gears, or Scientist characters, and that's when he applies a further attack boost to Free Spirit and Powerhouse. And then it says that by tapping on a bomb or a super bomb slot, he removes 6 turns of damage threshold. So I like that he has that utility, but locking these utility effects behind tags just means that, like, you're just using him as a captain to just get HP, maybe some matching slots, and attack boost, but then you don't actually get the full benefit until you're building your team around this effect. And it just feels so bad when we've had characters years and years, like throughout the game's history, where they just give you flat utility for no reason. So it just the way that they implement these tags right now makes it so that they can sell these new characters, these new rare recruits, alongside these Sugo Fest exclusives to, I mean, I'm not going to say incentivize you to pull, but almost force you to pull for these units. And I just think that if a new player is getting into a game, they pull a new character, they want to use their abilities. And I get that, like, super types, super classes, super tandems, all of these effects do need some type of requirement to be fulfilled in order for these abilities to activate. But locking, like, just these core effects of these characters behind these really strict tag mechanics is just not a really good way to go about it. We were hoping for things to be a little bit more flexible in terms of the team building scenarios, but then you build a character like Franky and things go off the rails. And then, I mean, even going out of your way to provide this super type ability, you know, his effect, it gives the ship -5 turns of cooldown. It does give the top row characters cooldown, generates his own super bomb slot, which works really well, because then you can use that super bomb slot to remove the damage threshold, only if you've built your team correctly, though, by the way. And then also giving a final tap bonus. But this extends even further to even the treasure map character that we had recently with Sabo, the Revolutionary Armies, with Koala and Hack. And that whole event was essentially structured around using Sabo's captain effect to provide you with that chain boundary at the start of the quest, but that would only be fulfilled if you build your team. Almost all of your team had to be Revolutionary Army, and the only way that you could effectively do that within the point booster parameters of that event was by pulling the Koala and the Hack around the Sabo, which is just awful. And these are just 2 examples of characters that have released within the past month that have had this problem, and I think it is going to be a consistent thing moving forward. So all we can really ask for is for things to be a bit more flexible, a bit less strict in regards to team building for these units, because people are just straight up not going to pull for these units if they can't build teams with them. Like, what's the point, right? There's no reason to have a unit if you can't use them on a team. So yeah, just a little bit of a weird scenario, I think, in regards to the character tag functionality. And even still, to this day, you know, it is what it now. It's in early September, and the tag functions were put in what was it, late April / early May, and we still have not had any additional characters input into the game with tags. Obviously, when a new character drops, they're gonna have tags, but there have been no pre-existing units in the game that have received tags since the updated May. So I think that that is also a huge red flag, because there are a ton of characters that we would love to use on teams, but the fact that they don't have tags mean that they don't fulfill the condition. Like, if a character requires Straw Hats and you wanted to use some of the older rare recruits, I mean, they're a Straw Hat. You can use a Nico Robin who is a Straw Hat, but, you know, they don't have the tag, so unfortunately they don't count towards the condition being met. So I just don't understand what the hell is going on, and it's just straight up just... it's awful design, because this has been one thing that I've been campaigning for a really long time in Treasure Cruise. I mean, I think around New Year's, I made a video fully dedicated to this tag functionality working really well in the game, and obviously that whole video spawned from the release of Ace and Whitebeard dual unit, who had abilities based on, you know, other Whitebeard commanders using their specials, and like that made sense for tag functions to work really well in that regard. And the fact that it finally had arrived, I've been hyping this thing up, and all of a sudden it's built the way that it is. I just I don't really understand where they're going with it, and we'll have to wait and see, because we are expecting like another Super Sugo Fest coming hopefully sometime soon. So hopefully they give us a character that is a little bit more flexible to use. I mean, they give us like a character like Saturn, who is like really hell-bent on using the Celestial Dragons, the other 5 Elders, and I do think that that is a bit of a weird case, because I understand why those characters want to be only, you know, aligned with the other Celestial Dragons, but I do think that there needs to be a little bit more flexibility in regards to how characters are being used in the game. So that's going to wrap it up for me, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about this one down below in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.